Hi everyone, welcome to the orientation for seminar 2. And this is the opportunity that we get to sort of understand a little bit more about what seminar 2 is about and answer all your questions before we get started. And once you are clear on what it is and you're keen to join is when you can enroll in the next 2-3 days, and we are good to start on next week on Wednesday. So before we start talking about seminar 2, just would anybody like to share what were your sort of main learnings from seminar 1? I think that might be a good place to sort of start, because this is the next layer to what we want to learn. So anyone can share what were the key things that you feel were useful for you, stuff that you learned in the first seminar. And like Shabari, you can share even stuff that you've learned in the previous doula course that you have done. What are the things, the topics that are typically covered, and what were the areas that you felt you got sufficient information, and the areas where you feel you would like to know more? And this is for everyone. Anyone can share.
I'll go first. So I really like the communication part, which actually improved my listening skill and communication skills. And also, I really love the doula skill part, which is like understanding what support really means. And yeah, those two are my favorite from the seminar one.
Thank you. And this is why it begins with communication. Communication is super, super, super important. And I think that all doula trainings do talk about it, but we do spend a lot more time on it, because a lot gets lost if communication is not effective. So yeah, thanks. And of course, doula skills is the core critical part of any doula training, and we do spend a lot of time on that. And that is also something which I think you need to also keep going back to. At least that's what I did. So while we covered it, every time you are meeting a client, something comes up, you're at a birth, something comes up, and you want to review that skill, understand a little bit more. When you try it, you learn something about using that skill. So it is, a lot of that content is stuff that you would want to go back to from time to time. That's the whole point why those videos and those recordings are available to us for life, because a lot of this information comes in layers to us. Thank you. Any feedback is also welcome.
Yeah. Much appreciated.
Something that you feel you would want to delve into more also is, and you can share that as well.
Can I go?
Hmm?
Yeah. So, frankly speaking, I did the doula I did doula course just for the certification's sake, because before that also I was doing the doula thing. Okay, and I didn't learn much from Kappa. So let me be frank, because it was just a 3-day course, and in that it was just theory part mostly. So, and that which already I knew about all those things, because anyways, Vijay ma'am, I did the Lamaze childbirth education from her. So I had learned all those things from her. And most of the doula skills, whatever I have, are from her, and from her workshops and the workshops which we had done in Pune and everything. And obviously, I also developed by checking out videos and doing births and everything. So, and now I realize that the certifications are not important. So whatever certificates you see over here, they are just for the clients to show that, okay, fine. Because these days clients, when they come to the center, they have to see the certificates. Okay, though they don't go through it. But I realize that your certificate is not important. What most important thing is you giving those skills, or having those skills, and being compassionate, basically. So that is what is more important than the certificate. So yeah, and what I would like to learn from the webinar too is, I don't know actually what the content is going to be, but I would just like to share what I would like to learn is that how to deal with doctors, how to heal yourself also, because we also undergo trauma. So how to do that, and if there are any extra things which we can do for the moms apart from whatever usually we do, the rebozo, theraball, this, that, massages and everything. So yeah,
Thank you so much, Shabri, for sharing that. And we completely, I think, resonate with what you said about certifications. Everyone is just chasing now, where can I do a certification course, get a certificate? But it's really, doula work is much more than that. It is, you like, exactly like you said, you learn from your mentors, you learn from your peers, you learn from your clients more than anything else. And you learn through reflection, you learn through self-study, you learn through self-care, reflection, inner reflection on why you're doing this work. And that is all very important part of the doula training. And it's very hard to certify someone saying that, oh, you've done everything. So while of course, even we will have certificates, because like you said, the outside world asks for certificates. So there's no harm in having a certificate. And in fact, sometimes when people inquire about the course, one of the first things they ask is that, is it a certification course? And the question is, what is a certification course? I can make you sit for 1 hour and give you some gyan and give you a certificate saying that you're certified. So that's absolutely true. So thanks for sharing that. And I think that about seminar 2 and 3, we will talk more about it. Some of the things that you mentioned, some of it is in seminar 2, some of it is in seminar 3, and we'll kind of tell you how we've kind of split the remaining part in these 2 seminars. Thank you.
I'll go. I really enjoyed the whole anatomy and physiology modules. It was so in depth and so many modules. So even though doula work is not medical, but like really understanding that, how understanding the anatomy, physiology helps to then sort of analyze in a situation what's going on. And I think most importantly was learning the learning the correct mindset, like not like how like constantly asking this, like what am I supporting, like who am I supporting, and also like really understanding my own preconceived notions, and doing the whole reflective practice, that like really understanding why I'm doing this work.
Thank you so much. And yeah, anatomy physiology is a really fascinating module. And I think that what, at least personally, I find is that this information is there in books and videos and stuff. What is missing is the perspective of, so when we do, for example, placenta, there is placenta, parts of placenta, what it does, function, but what does it mean? What is the role of that organ? How does it relate with the rest of what's happening with the mother? And I think that's the interesting part. And that's what kind of brings alive the theory to what someone is actually experiencing. So it's really, I mean, and I think again, like the other topic as well, this is something you can keep going back to. And you will do that as and when you encounter situations. So you meet a client who says, my doctor says something is wrong with the placenta. What does it mean? And you may not have the answer. And then you go back and then you review the placenta module. You search for some more information on that. And that's when you learn something about that particular topic. And then you encounter another situation and again, you don't know, and you say, I'll find out. And you go back. And that's the kind of way I think you also deepen your knowledge over a period of time. Thank you. You don't have to. If anyone wants to, you can share. That somebody was speaking.
Anybody? Or I can go. Yeah. I think I like the reflective practices most, and that kind of brought me from a state of depression, anger, and everything against my gynecologist to a state where I told, okay, I also didn't know, I didn't work at it either, and then we can look at it this way. Past, fine, move ahead with something that brings in a lot of positivity. And I did it many times, maybe about 10 times to come to that stage, but every time I have done, there's a new learning. And though I may not be supporting birth, but then still my reference point has always been the doula course. I can go back at any point of time to see what it means, though I'm doing lamas and everything. For me, the reference check is always with the doula course because it helps me a lot. It's so detailed. And every time you're reading the notes or you're going through the videos, you learn something in a different perspective altogether. It's more about perspective learning than the course as such. Every time there's a different perspective to the reading that you're going through or the videos that you're looking at.
Thank you, Suma.
Welcome.
Please also share what more you are looking for. This is not just a mutual appreciation discussion. You can also share what parts you feel you want more. What
We could bring in or we could do more with, or well, I have something that I think we can do better is organize the assignments better so that it's easier for everybody to know them, do them, and submit them. And I'm working on it.
Yeah, this feedback is all from everyone is valuable because there's a lot to do, but we'd rather focus on doing the things that immediately help. Any other suggestions on seminar 1? Because we're going to start the next group in the next month or 2. So are there any inputs that you have, suggestions?
So,
We're starting from next week, Neha.
This is next week is seminar 2, but the next batch of seminar 1 will start in May. Yeah, Madhumati.
So exactly, I learned a lot, but what I have applied, especially with my mothers, is that I don't want to react when they are saying something shocked or when they are tensed. And I even in while replying the messages, I itself my words will be very okay. No worries, no worries. I always remember Divya said, okay, what is the next thing I can, kind of a coolness we have to maintain throughout the process so that the mother, that may not affect the mother as well. So again, if I keep on doing this, and anyhow, I'm going to apply all the things I have learned here. And now I thought to mention that here. And one suggestion is that if we discuss something about our assignments so that it motivates all of us to do better.
That's been a self-reflection. So to let you know, we're migrating out of Teachable to a different platform, and all of you will have access. But as I'm organizing the course there, I realized that we've been really lax on the assignment section. And not to say that you all haven't learned, but we will put it together and you will have an opportunity to revisit them, discuss them with us, and reattempt them if you want to. And if you haven't attempted, then you'll get a chance to formally attempt it. But it will be put into a structure. I totally want that.
And then, of course, I mean, as you know, when the next group starts, if any of you feel there is some topic that you want to come back for, you're most welcome to come back and listen in to contribute in the discussions. That's always an option. Okay. Anybody else? Thanks a lot for your feedback, your inputs, your appreciation. And so the way the course is structured, as you know, Seminar 1 is the foundation course. Seminar 2 is what I like to call the heart of the program, because That's where we kind of move beyond our mind into the heart of birth support, which means that we understand not just the physiology and anatomy of what's happening, which is our focus in seminar 1, and that's important. In seminar 2, it's also kind of delving into the subconscious and how do we then support a mother in that realm, and which is where there are some amazing tools that Divya will teach us, ways that we can engage with families, working with them subconsciously as well. So that's one aspect of it. The other aspect is also understanding more ways of engaging with families. So when you go for prenatal meetings, postnatal meetings, what are the other different ways in which you can engage with families by understanding what they are experiencing. And the other aspect, of course, is going deeper into the pelvis. So delving more into the biodynamics of how birth works and how the baby navigates the pelvis. And when we are able to visually understand this better, we are able to apply that understanding when we are at a birth and have better ideas and suggestions on what can be done, what's going on, when to step back, when to offer a suggestion. So I found that module very, very valuable. And what else is there, Divya? There's one more part that I'm missing.
There's the affirmation and hypnosis part.
Correct. Which is, I've clubbed that with
the art.
Subconscious. Yeah. So there's art, hypnosis, mandala, labyrinth, all of that kind of working with the subconscious. And then, of course, yeah, there's the VBAC module as well.
Yeah.
So there's where
And ultrasounds. Oh, no, ultrasounds. Ultrasounds as well.
So anyway, you'll have a look at the curriculum, but this is kind of the plan. Seminar 2 is some of the stuff that you spoke about, Shabari, that actually comes in seminar 3. Seminar 3 is trauma-informed care. And I like to call that the soul of the course, because that is the next deeper level, where it's no more about necessarily just the client you're working with. It's also a lot about you and stuff that comes up for you and your beliefs about the world, your beliefs about doctors, looking at doctors and nurses and other partners, families in a more trauma-informed care. So that is seminar 3. That's the way it's structured, because we felt that is the kind, that's the way, Divya has layered it such that you can gradually move into the next layer. You will appreciate that layer better after this layer is done. Divya, do you want to add more to this?
Yeah, sure. So a couple of things I want to say again. The reason why the great emphasis was not on assignments and a to-do list was because I felt that we couldn't leave women with a task and no support. But on the flip side of that, it is important that you go through the experience of the assignments, especially in seminar 2, and you'll have to be a little bit more regular with them, because when we do art assignments, when we do assignments in seminar 2, we experience them in that week. This is important because when we come back the next week, we do a sharing on it. So birth art or storytelling is not about what you're doing in that moment, but what gems you collect as you have that experience of doing it. So those are, when we will talk about symbols for you. How does your body and mind experience that thought? It's the embodying of a narrative. The narrative in itself is not important. And you'll see that difference when people tell their birth stories. What happens really doesn't matter. It's how they felt mattered. And if they can make meaning of their experience, then even what you may experience, the worst kind of birth, is actually a powerful thing. So it's about how your mind will make meaning. And for that reason alone, you must take out time to do the assignments. And it's easier in seminar 2 because we're doing them alongside. We're presenting them as we go along. That's where we're opening it up, in the class itself. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. And secondly, I just wanted to say, that Shabri said it was a 3-day workshop. So it's interesting because our first seminar is 24 hours or 24 webinars. So technically it's 3 into 8 hours. So it's probably the same amount of time, but we've curated study material. Basically, the ethos was that you should be able to do this without resistance. You don't have to struggle to complete your course. You should be supported. It should be facilitated for you. And then you will have a bodily experience of what it felt like to be facilitated. And that's what it is throughout. So we understand the importance of support. While we learn support, but we do it very unsupported. So even though the hours we are putting in the first seminar, and like Neha said, that the soul and the heart, but the first seminar is the body. So it's the body, mind, and spirit. The body of information that we put in the first seminar is about the same amount of time. Couple of things happen. Is one, it's spread over time, and it's well facilitated. So basically, the idea of the first seminar is not just to get the knowledge, but also to feel supported. So you know what that means for somebody else. And that idea of how you embodied it is expanded on in the second seminar. So yeah, that's the two things that stuck out for me. So that's what I wanted to say.
In terms of the structure, it remains the same, which is that you will have the teachable folders will open up every week. There will be some content that will be put up there. Sometimes we will ask you to review something before coming. Sometimes we will do the class, and then next week you will have a task to do before we come back, so that as we go along, we'll share that. And there are 14 webinars, right, Divya?
Yeah.
And we begin next week. We're planning to keep the same time as seminar 1. So I'm just rechecking if that suits everyone, which is Wednesdays at 7. I'm not able to remember why we made it 7:15.
Because I used to take the dogs out for a walk.
Okay.
Which
So
is
it's
great.
at 7 or 7:15.
No, it's 7 is fine.
Yeah. Is that good for everyone?
Yeah.
Okay. So Wednesdays at 7, we begin next Wednesday. Any questions that you have left?
Also in seminar 2, not all the teaching will be done as a video earlier, like it is, because it's a very definite structure for seminar 1. And then there's an interaction. But there will be an interaction and instruction, and then you'll do something, and then you'll come back and we'll do a sharing. So the teaching is in the webinar as well.
And like Divya said, last time it was okay if you didn't watch the video because you could have watched it later. This time, if you do not do that task, you will kind of miss out on the interaction, because you have to experience that activity to then discuss it and understand it. So do try and take out that maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, 1 hour to do that activity, because that's when you will really understand it and be able to open up and have the discussion with it. Sarah, you wanted to say something?
I just had a quick question. You mentioned that you were going to be leaving Teachable. For those of us who have outstanding assignments, I'm talking about myself, I feel like I've got a lot of them. Should we submit them on Teachable or should we wait?
You could wait.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
You could
Okay.
wait. You could wait, because I want to structure it. I want to give you a background and a context on them. I mean, that's the least we can do, since it's just like all over the place. I just want to put it together, and then a time period also suitable enough so that your daily life is not completely disrupted with the deadline.
But for now, Divya, it was for seminar 2 remains on Teachable for now.
Yes, does only.
Yet.
Yeah.
Probably change by the next batch. That's when
So
we'll
seminar 1 assignments, you don't worry about so much on putting them back, but seminar 2 you do, because it's just one step over the other.
and that can be submitted on Teachable itself.
Yeah, you can upload it as a form, or you can just email it to me.
Basically, if there's stuff left over from seminar 1, we can do that later. Right now, let's do seminar 2 and make sure that you do the assignments of this.
Yeah.
Since I was not there in seminar 1, is there anything I need to know in the seminar 2 how things are going to go ahead, and what do I? Nothing.
Nothing, don't bother. It's just that the Teachable platform will be new for you. But it's fairly simple. There's just
Yeah.
once, there'll be a login that you'll have, and then the
Okay.
folder will be visible. Once you open that, each module is there. So if you have any questions, you can definitely reach out.
Okay. Fine.
But there's nothing that you need to know, like if I haven't done first year, can I do second year? Yes, you can. There's no such thing.
Okay.
It's a very feminine course. Anybody can start at any one. Even when you see seminar 2, you could start from the 5th one and then come back to the first one, because
Okay.
it's a grouping of things.
Mhm.
It's not like, and I would love it if all of you do come to the class, because we did enjoy the lively discussions of seminar 1. Yeah.
Yeah. And that is what actually I want to do. I want to do the live sessions. Yeah. Because it becomes difficult later on to watch the recordings.
Yeah.
I come back again and again, Shabari. So it's seminar 2 is very, very interesting. Opens up a lot for us about ourselves also. So
Latika and me have been there from the beginning on the screen somewhere.
Okay. How many years is it? 6th year now.
yes, it's
2018 you started.
yeah.
I think once associated, we are forever associated.
No, so I've repeated quite a few seminars, and what I have learned is that there is so much out there to learn. There is so much, and it's never enough.
And something new seems to hit you every time.
Yes, definitely.
But we've also been adding, Neha, like we brought in VBAC, we brought in postpartum in seminar 1, postnatal interaction we brought in VBAC here, we brought in ultrasounds here. So we did bring in quite a few new things.
And this time the birth plans were like really extensive. I feel that itself taught us so much.
In seminar 1, did you feel that?
Seminar 1, yeah. Because I watched the videos and I listened to the recordings and everything. Oh my God, there's such a wealth of information there. It was very interesting and different from the earlier one that I had attended.
Yeah. Let's say I've grown a little bit up in the last 5 years.
Good for us, Divya.
No, you keep growing.
Yeah, we'll keep coming back.
Yeah, no, like we discussed in the retreat, I have a few ideas for this year as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's going to be amazing. Yeah, really looking forward, Neha, Divya.
Looking forward to seeing you.
My favorite is the first webinar of seminar 2.
I was just going to ask, I hope everyone will be there for the first one. It's really,
Yes.
really nice.
Yeah.
I'll try best to be there. Like I've already spoken to Neha about it. So we had a death at home. So we have the 13th day on that day, but I'll try and be there for it.
No, it's okay. I think don't force yourself to be there if you're not able to be there fully.
But I really want to.
The recording will be there.
Yeah.
Okay. See you everyone then next week.
You all, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Much.
Thank you. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.